Have you ever stood in front of a mirror and wondered if the person looking back at you is really all that you are? We spend so much of life managing the visible: our appearance, our health, our achievements, our thoughts, our emotions. We train the body, educate the mind, and build identities around both. But deep down, most people feel a strange truth they cannot fully explain. There is something more. Something deeper than muscles, deeper than thoughts, deeper even than personality. A silent observer inside us that watches life unfold. A presence that remains when emotions rise and fall, when success comes and goes, and when even the body begins to age. That deeper presence is what makes this question so powerful. Are you only a mind and a body, or are you something far greater? Modern life trains us to think in material terms. If something cannot be measured, scanned, or tested, it is often dismissed. We are taught that the body is biology and the mind is chemistry, and together they explain the whole human experience. While science has given us incredible understanding of the brain and the body, it still struggles to answer the most profound human questions. Why do we seek meaning? Why do we feel moral responsibility? Why do love, sacrifice, beauty, and purpose matter so deeply? Why does the human heart hunger for something beyond survival? The body is extraordinary. It is a living machine of astonishing complexity. Your heart beats thousands of times a day without your permission. Your lungs breathe, your cells repair themselves, your nervous system sends signals faster than lightning. Your body is your vehicle in this world. It allows you to experience touch, movement, taste, sound, and sensation. But the body changes constantly. The child becomes the adult becomes the elder. Every cell is replaced over time. Yet despite all these physical changes, you still feel like you. There is continuity beyond biology. Then there is the mind, the world of thoughts, memories, logic, imagination, fear, ambition, and emotion. The mind creates stories, solves problems, and dreams of futures that do not yet exist. It is powerful, but it is also unstable. Thoughts change by the minute. Emotions shift with circumstances. One day you feel unstoppable, the next, uncertain. If you were only your mind, your identity would be as unstable as your mood. But again, there is something observing even the mind. You can notice your thoughts. You can say, "I am feeling anxious," which means there is an I separate from the anxiety. This is where many philosophical and spiritual traditions point toward a deeper truth: consciousness itself. Not just thinking, but awareness. The witness behind the thoughts. The observer behind the emotions. The presence that notices joy, pain, success, failure, and still remains. Some call it the soul, some call it spirit, some call it higher self, and some simply call it awareness. Different names, same mystery. Ancient philosophers from Socrates to Rumi, from the Upanishads to Islamic scholars, all wrestled with this reality. They understood that reducing a human being to flesh and intellect misses the essence of personhood. The soul was not seen as poetry, it was seen as the center of identity. In Islamic thought, for example, the ruh or spirit is considered a divine trust, something breathed into the human being that gives dignity beyond physical existence. This is why human life carries sacred value. You are not valuable because of productivity, appearance, or status. You are valuable because of what you are at your core. This understanding changes everything. If you are only a body, life becomes a race against decay. If you are only a mind, life becomes a battle for mental control. But if you are more than both, life becomes a journey of alignment, bringing body, mind, and soul into harmony. The body must be cared for, not worshipped. The mind must be trained, not obeyed blindly. And the deeper self must be listened to, because it carries the compass of meaning. Many people today feel exhausted not because they are physically weak, but because they are spiritually disconnected. They eat well, work hard, and stay busy, yet feel empty. Why? Because achievement cannot feed the soul. Entertainment cannot replace purpose. Validation cannot substitute for inner peace. A person can have wealth and still feel poor inside. That inner poverty often comes from forgetting who they really are. Think about the moments when you felt most alive. It was probably not when you bought something expensive or received applause. It was when you felt deeply connected to love, to service, to truth, to faith, to beauty, to something larger than yourself. Those moments reveal that your deepest needs are not material. They are existential. You want significance. You want belonging. You want peace that circumstances cannot steal. This is also why suffering often becomes a turning point. Pain strips away illusion. It forces people to ask deeper questions. Who am I without my job? Without my title? Without my comfort? Hardship reveals whether identity was built on temporary things. Many people discover their strongest self only after losing what they thought defined them. Being more than mind and body also means responsibility. It means your choices shape more than your schedule. They shape your character. Integrity matters. Compassion matters. Discipline matters. Forgiveness matters. These are not just moral decorations. They are the architecture of the inner self. A strong soul is built the same way a strong body is built, through repeated practice. Silence becomes important too. In a noisy world, the soul is often drowned out. Constant scrolling, endless comparison, and non-stop stimulation make people strangers to themselves. Reflection, prayer, meditation, journaling, solitude, these are not luxuries. They are ways of returning home to the deeper self. They remind you that your worth is not on the screen. It is within. The greatest tragedy is not failure. It is living an entire life never discovering your true nature. To spend decades polishing the surface while neglecting the center. To know your resume better than your soul. To win the world and lose yourself. You are not just a body trying to survive. You are not just a mind trying to cope. You are a being with depth, dignity, and purpose. Your body is your instrument. Your mind is your tool. But neither is the full story. There is something within you that seeks truth, reaches for meaning, and refuses to believe life is only about consumption and survival. That part of you is not weakness. It is your greatest strength. So the next time life feels chaotic, ask a different question. Not, what do I have? Or, what do people think of me? But, who am I becoming? Because in the end, that is the real measure of a life. If this message made you pause and reflect, don't let it end here. Take a moment today to reconnect with the part of you that is deeper than stress and stronger than fear. Protect your body, sharpen your mind, but never neglect your soul. Because the most important relationship you will ever have is with your true self. If you believe life is meant for more than survival, share this message with someone who needs to hear it, and keep seeking the version of you that was always meant to rise.